I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
Culpy and Chip.
Motionless and White.
Have you ever heard of these people before?
Never. A lot of people from the channel have been asking us over and over again for this band.
Yep.
So we're finally doing it.
You're going to get it on my maternity leave.
Yep. Ask and ye shall receive.
These are all pre-recorded videos right here.
Yeah.
That we did before, so that way.
And this is a band we've never done before.
I know, yeah. I kind of like trying out new stuff because I'm like, what's it going to be? And you have no clue and whatnot, so.
These guys are like, they must have been like insanely popular.
Well, because this one video has, what?
19 million views in 9 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So these guys are, I'm actually very, very, very excited to like hear this band because a lot of people are asking for them. So hopefully they come through in the clutch. This is called Voices from their record Graveyard Shift.
Oh, okay.
Voices, Motionless and White. Let's go.
Ready? Go.
Voices in my head again, trapped in a war inside my own skin. They're pulling me under. But still feel the pain. If I showed you my soul, would you cover your eyes? If I told you the truth, would you dare me to lie? I keep it all inside because I know the man is everything but kind. Voices in my head again, beating me in a war I can't win. I can hear them now, swept in a game inside my own skin. I don't know myself anymore. They're pulling me under. Voices. As I walk through this valley of shadows and death, I curse not the wicked, I praise not the blessed. If I told you the truth, you beg me to change. If you were a currency, you'd own a bank. Voices in my head again, beating me in a war I can't win. I can hear them now, trapped in a game inside my own skin. And I don't know myself anymore. They're pulling me under. Voices. I don't want to live so callous and frozen, ugly and hopeless. I don't want to live forever. I just want to live right now. In my head again. Voices in my head again, beating me in a war I can't win. I can hear them now, trapped in a game inside my own skin. And I don't know myself anymore. They're pulling me under. Voices. They're pulling me under. Voices. Why? I keep it all inside because I know the man is everything but kind. I keep it all inside because I know the man is everything but kind.
Does this sound like another song?
Not that I'm familiar with.
I wish I could remember it. There's one. It's probably actually a Christian song. Sounds, it sounds so much like this, it's unbelievable.
I don't know, but...
I was hoping you'd...
So that's Motionless in White off their record Graveyard Shift.
What band do they sound like?
I don't really know. I mean, there's some synth stuff going on with the guitar.
The voices, you know? It's got to be some
Especially
Christian
if it's a Christian
band.
band, especially if it's a band you're listening to as a teenager.
Yeah.
I won't know it. Sorry, Missy.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was from that. I thought maybe it was something that we've listened to, but if it's not, if you don't recognize it, then maybe.
This seems to me about his relationship to his dad, probably.
Oh, really?
Well, I think so, and I think it's about, you know, being the type of person, being yourself versus being the type of person your dad wants you to be. Because I kept it all inside because I know the man is everything but kind.
Oh.
So I'm assuming that that's his dad, and it just
I thought
looks,
it was all about himself.
well, then who's the man?
Himself. But he holds it in so he doesn't.
Voices in my head again, baiting me in a war I can't win.
Yeah, it's himself.
I don't think it's
Dark.
himself.
That's what I thought. It was just a darkness of his own.
Because he said, if I showed you my soul, would you cover your eyes? If I told you the truth, will you dare me to lie? I keep it all inside because I know the man is everything but kind. So what I think he knows who he is. It's just he knows that telling his dad is going to make him his dad's going to be disappointed in him and then tell him to change.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I'm distracted by which song that could have been. I'm gonna have to ask my sister.
what do you mean? What are you going to play her a Motionless in White song and then ask her what band it's
Yeah, I'll send her the link and I'll say, does this sound like something we listened to as a teenager?
Okay. But, yeah, if fear were currency, you'd own the bank.
Yeah.
If I told you the truth, you'd beg me to change. Yeah, so it's the whole, you know, you're coming into your own sense of self. You know, you're out of the adolescent age. You're knocking on adulthood or whatever, and then you've got you kind of figured yourself out. But then your parents, you know, you've got the overbearing parent that you can't, you know, completely be honest with.
Okay.
Which I think is I saw something one time and it said, it was an interesting meme because it said religion and then it said, I screwed up. I hope Dad doesn't find out. And then it says Jesus and it's I screwed up. I got to call my dad. You know, like the type of relationship that you have with your dad is like, if you're a screw up, do you run to your dad or do you run away from him?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so, like, that's one of the things.
When it says dad in the Jesus one, is that calling Jesus your dad, or is that saying...
I just think it's like the messages. Like, the message that religion brings is that you better not let God find out what you did, you know, because you're such a bad person. Whereas this guy is saying, the message Jesus brought is when you screw up, like your dad should be the first one in your mind to, and that really stuck with me. I saw it like a couple days ago. It really stuck with me. It's like, are you the type of parent where whatever's going on with your kid, like their first instinct is, oh, I want to tell mom and dad, or is it something that they have to hide from you and whatever? And you know, I want to have the kids kind of, and that's why I'm good with taking short-term losses in order to create that type of relationship. So like I'll be willing to take I'll underreact to a certain situation if they're honest with me about it. So like even if they like are justifiably warrant serious trouble, if they came to me with it, I will purposely underreact in the moment so that they've got a catalog of times when they really screwed up and dad was kind of supportive to them, so that when they really do screw up, when it's like, you know, because the things that you can mess up with increase in gravity as you age.
Yep.
So like, oh, you dropped you were careless and you dropped the cup and you broke glass all over the place. Like, you know, okay, you're 4 or 5 years old, you know, or 8 or 9 in our case. Like, I want you to be able to be like, yo, I could, you know, tell mom and dad, like, if we have to find something out and do a lot of digging, that's when I'm really, that's when I'll like, project pretty much equivalent to the problem. But if they report the problem to me, I purposely like push it down a level because, I want to encourage that type of relationship.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Well, you generally don't agree with it in the moment. You're usually mad at me for underreacting.
That's because it's usually I feel like it's usually stuff I find. Like they rarely come and tell me when they've broken something or whatever. I find it. And it's frustrating when I go I go to use the item. You are such a liar. They don't tell you when they break my stuff.
They tell me.
When's the last time that happened?
I just say, don't tell your mother.
You're such a liar. They don't tell you. I know.
That's what Mr. Man used to do. He'd be like, oh my God, don't tell your mother. She'll kill you. He was so fun. He was such a bad parent. Shout out to the big homie.
That's like an uncle.
That's what we used to call him. We used to call him Uncle Robert. Growing up with him was fun, man. He was such a fun guy. Terrible parent, but fun. He'd be a badass parent now. Now he'd be great.
Really?
But yeah, back then it was just, he was like, don't tell your mother.
You get in those moods where you're like that, though.
Huh?
You get in those moods where you're like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm like that with the kids. Yeah, when they tell me that they broke something of yours, I'm like,
you're such a liar. I don't believe they tell you.
She'll kill you.
Did they tell you they were breaking all those plates, they didn't have to wash them?
Yeah, sure.
You liar.
Sure.
You are such a liar. You should be truthful right now. You know for sure they don't tell you that.
What do you mean I know for sure? You don't know that.
Yes, I do know. I know they didn't tell you.
You were wrong. Yeah.
Say wallahi.
I'm not going to have this discussion with you in front of these
That's because you're lying.
People.
You're totally lying.
So the voices pull them under.
You know how I know? Because when I confronted them on it and realized they did all that, they would have said, we already told Father.
No.
Yes, they would have.
No, they wouldn't have.
Why wouldn't they have?
They wouldn't have threw me under the bus like that.
Yes, they do.
No,
if they already tell you, they immediately tell me.
No.
Anyway.
I'd like to actually talk about the song. I don't want to live...
On my channel, My Story Life, there's a video. I think it's called Answer Me This, and that's about the plates, if you want more detail.
What?
I
don't want to live so callous and frozen, ugly and hopeless. I don't want to live forever. I just want to live right now. You can't take me from me. Why are you shaking your head?
You can't take me from me. I like that.
I figured you like that. That's an interesting line. I don't want to live forever. I want to live right now. Because that's always one of the dichotomies that happens with a parent.
Yeah.
Is a parent's always thinking long range.
Yes.
And the kid is always thinking right now.
Yep.
And there's always that conflict. And the kids, you're never as an adult gonna convince the kid that long range thinking is important. You just gotta put them in situations where they should have thought. Arguing with them at the cognitive level, forget it. It's not gonna. I don't know if any kid that's gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, I need to think long term about this.
I know.
Like, you got to put them in like we're doing this allowance thing with the money, where they're like, oh, I want this, like the impulse buying. It's like, sure, go for it. You got your own account, and then when we go to Funtown or something, you want to buy X. No, sorry. Mm-hmm. But that's an interesting. It's always that push pull between quality of life versus the longevity of a given situation. Mm-hmm. That's what would happen anytime me and my brothers were around some girl. My mom would always because she was always thinking, how is this going to be in 5-10 years? Right. I wasn't thinking that.
No.
I was thinking, different things. My mom was thinking, married. And I was like, not even on my radar.
That stuff was always on my radar when I was.
Yeah, I was always on your. It wasn't on mine.
Future. It was never just the here and here and now was never. But I did that with a lot of things.
I would never bring her. I had the misfortune. 2 or 3 girls were around. Came to my apartment or whatever. So my mom got to see them. It was always this big long lecture. So I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm out. Never gonna bring him around here again.
Oh, she didn't think that through.
Well, she was just... I think she had a certain perspective of me, because my older brother, like, anytime he was with a girl, it was like he was thinking about marrying her, you know. And I think that she thought I was like that, but I was not like that at all. I was not, those were not my interests. So, you know, and then there's this one girl that I brought around one time, and she was like the prototype of you know, what my mom wanted me to marry. She's Jamaican, she was light-skinned, she was religious, da-da-da-da. And what she should have said was, you shouldn't be around my son, he's no good for you. But after she left, she's like, you have to marry that girl, you know. You have to talk to her, you know.
You have to talk to her.
She was literally my next door neighbor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long were you guys there?
So, you know how it was with us, 6 to 8 months, who knows.
Oh, man, that must have been kind of fun, though.
But,
Your neighbor is the person you're dating.
No, I wasn't dating her, though.
Oh, yeah.
That I had no interest in any sort of long-term anything with her. But my mom was, you know, she just had this real naive, you know, and the girl was, you know, she should have told the girl to stay away from me. That's what she should have done. Which, if my mom was that girl's mom, that's what she would have said. She'd have said, stay away from that kid.
Yeah.
But because it was me, you know, she was like, oh, yes, it's a good girl for you now. Yeah.
I think you're probably one of the only parents in the world. I actually do think that you would say that. Like, if one of our kids was, like, not gonna be good, and with some other girl, let's say one of the girls, some girl came in dating one of our sons, and our son was in a bad place and it wasn't gonna be good for the girl, I could picture you telling the girl, you shouldn't be with him.
Oh.
I honestly gonna picture you.
Oh, yeah, I would, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, the way that one of them is right now?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah.
I'd be like, sweetheart, you need to run, or maybe go with
the
my other one.
So terrible.
Have you thought about this one? The right last name, wrong first name. And no, I know who y'all are thinking, and you're completely wrong. It's actually the opposite.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
That's hilarious.
No, I would literally do that though. But I've told him to his face, like, I'm glad that you're X years old, because you will be a whore. You're gonna be a whore. Your mindset on relationships is so jacked right now.
Right.
But my mom never really, you know, sat me down and was like, yo, tell me what you think about how relationships are.
Told her?
Yeah, I would have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it wasn't going to affect anything I was going to do regardless. She couldn't stop anything I was going to do. So, I mean, bad neighborhoods couldn't stop anything I was going to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, my mom wasn't going to be able to do anything. But yeah, I'd have sat and told her. I'd have been like, you know. But she never did. She just assumed that I was a certain type of way. But that's what makes parenting so difficult, because if you say, no, that's wrong, then the kid's going to say this stuff to you. You know what I mean? Because it's tough when you're not a parent yourself. It's really difficult when you're not a parent yourself and you're a teenager. You think that your parents are doing X, Y, and terrible things to you. And you know what? 20% of the time they really are, but a lot of it is just they're scared to death. Your parents are scared to death.
Yeah.
They know what your inclinations are, and they know what the world is outside, and you don't.
Right.
So you're looking at it like, oh my God. But they're looking at it like, oh my God. And both of them are both, you know, because we're not communicating, and parents aren't going to tell their kids, I'm scared, because you have certain inclinations that when you go out into the world, you know, I'm
a problem.
Yeah. And so when you're a parent, you have to put those voices in the head of your kids, you know, and then everything they do, that's what happens when you're a kid. Like I said, the mistakes that you can make have less consequences. But then as you get older, especially when you're in that in-between stage between childhood and adulthood, the things that you mess up on start carrying more gravity. Like, you screw around in high school with your GPA, that carries with it implications.
It does.
You get behind the wheel of a car with your friends and you get high or you get drunk, that carries with it implications. And so now your parents are starting to, start ratcheting up the rhetoric, and they start ratcheting because they know that their time is short and they start freaking out. And the kid's like, yo, what are you doing to me right now? Like, you're completely, every little thing I do, you're on me. And it's like, yeah, because when you were young, the worst I had to worry about was a couple broken dishes. Now I'm worried about identifying you at the hospital.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I went through it with my mom, She'd go crazy on me with the curfew, and I thought she was trying to control me. And then one night she said, whenever you don't come home, I'm calling the morgue. And then, then it really hit me. But, I didn't give her anything. I didn't tell her, like, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Because that really impacted me, though. I didn't say anything to her, though. I wasn't going to give her that. I was like, yeah, whatever. But then after that, I really tried to get home for curfew.
That's cute.
But we had fights about it all before, and if she would have just opened up to me and told me this is about fear, I'm worried about you, then it would have been different. But you know how me and my mom were, so she wasn't gonna say all that. Yeah. But I hear
you don't. I don't know how to word that, but like if you perceive that someone's trying to control you, it doesn't.
Nope.
It doesn't go well.
Nope. Doesn't go well at all.
Yeah.
True. And like once people figure that out, then they can work with me a lot. I'm a lot easier to work with once you figure that out, because then you go, oh, okay. We'll just go a different, I'm more like influence me. I can be influenced. Just don't try to control me. But I also see how it can be overbearing for the kid, because we're kind of in that in-between stage where we were the kids and now we're parents. And, it can become overbearing, though. And it can really, a lot of relationships don't survive that transition between childhood and adulthood. A lot of people, because, parents they're not used to being vulnerable with their kids, and they're not used to explaining, like, this is, we've had that conversation about, situations with you, because a parent isn't able to be completely, I think if a lot of parents, especially during this period, were like completely honest and said, look, this is what I'm afraid of, and, I have that conversation with, the boys, like, look, if you don't know how to handle these types of situations, when you go outside, man, you probably will not come home. So you need to be able to know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. So like, this is a very kind of true to life song where the kid is looking at it like the parent is trying to take away their identity and all that. And the parent's looking at it like, I just want what's best for you. And of course there's always that push pull, and you can go overboard on either side.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know how to fix that one, other than, parents just continually telling their kids that they're loved unconditionally, and hopefully that can cover over some of your overreactions as a parent, But they're very, teenagers and their parents have lots of arguments, but there's only like 4 or 5 arguments between my mom and I that stayed in my head. And that was the main one. Yeah. That stayed in my head. That was like extremely impactful, because she was telling me, she was putting it all out there. Like, look, this is really what's going on. And, obviously she had a point. I was in the Bronx, New York. And what people don't realize about the inner city like that is like, gangbangers and those, of course you could get hurt by those guys, but you can get hurt randomly for no reason. That's the thing. Yeah. In those environments.
Yes. It's not like Maine. You have to put yourself in a situation.
Yeah, you gotta like go specifically at a certain block at a certain time in Maine to even come close to any sort of action.
My father used to say, keep your nose clean, avoid trouble, it'll avoid you, all those things pertain to our state.
Yeah. Whereas it's not like that in New York. New York is just, I always felt like there was like some timer, and that one of these days my bell was gonna get rung. Like, okay, it's your time now.
When you see some of the things that you explain that you saw as a kid, as a teenager, like, I can see how somebody would feel that way.
Yeah, to me it was just inevitable. Yeah. And to our friends,
well, in a sense it was.
It's inevitable. It's like, okay, who's next?
The longer you stay there, the more of a chance you have of it happening.
Parents not trying to hear that.
No.
you know, we kind of made peace with it.
Well, a parent wants to know that it can be controlled.
Yeah, we made peace with that. See, that was the thing. It's like, we made peace with it. Like, yeah, you know, whatever.
Ugh.
But obviously, as a parent, you're not trying to hear that.
No.
Oh, Mom, I've made peace with it. Because I really did. You know, so when I was going out, I wasn't thinking about like, oh, my safety or my mom's going to have to come identify me or something like that. You know, I just thought, well, hopefully, you know, if something pops off, we'll be ready, yada, yada, yada. I always had that mindset. I didn't have the mind. Now, as an adult with a child, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would have been, I would have been a lot more overbearing than my mom was. If I was out, if Dorian or Johan was out there in the street like that. Nope. No way.
Maybe she didn't know the extent. Must have known some of it though.
It's you just hear stuff on the news all the time. This kid, that kid, kid went to Truman High School,
Well, she
kids
did.
in Co-op City.
She did it. She brought you. She took you out of there.
She got me out of there. Yeah.
She brought you to Maine.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. Get you out of there.
Yeah. It's a terrible situation.
I'll
man.
bring you to Maine.
Yeah. That's the same thing my dad did with my sister, and she's in Florida now. Like,
Yep.
she had to get out of there.
Yeah.
You know, she's throwing desks at people and all that. And she went through it. You know, oh my, you know, Daddy called me, blah blah blah. She cried and she texted me like 4 o'clock in the morning a couple days ago.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she's like, me need up your Kia, Sean. She's like, yo, get me up there. She's in Florida now. I'm like, chill.
What? You don't want her to come a couple days?
Well, she's a lot different than when you saw her the last time.
Well, yeah, she was just a little girl. She was asking you for yogurt.
Yeah, she's asking me for weed and guns now. So,
Oh no.
shout out to my sister. But anyway, she went through this with my parents too. And she won. She won all those arguments, and you know, now she's a. You saw that thing with Vlad where the dude was a blood. He was a gangbanger, and then his daughter went off and became a Crip or whatever. He's like, he's got 3 kids. He's like, my 2 sons are in school or whatever. Then he goes, my daughter, you know, she's a little rougher.
Oh my gosh.
It turns out she's a Southside Crip. That's like...
She went on the opposite side as him?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, she's got a boyfriend or whatever. Then, you know, she's gonna...
Oh my gosh.
But that's kind of like what it's like with my sister, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, she's rougher. You know, she's on the rough side. And my dad, you know how my dad is. Oh, I mean, you might not know, but he's extremely passive and all that. So he would try to have these types of conversations with her, but my sister is so much like, she has so much aggression that, you know, like when she threw that desk at that girl, my dad called me up and said, you have to talk to your sister, you know. I said, I gotta talk to her. She's like, you're the only one she listen to. So I was like, yo, Catherine, what happened? She's like, this bitch. And of course, this is my baby sister. But New York will change it.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So I guess the girl was talking trash, and then Catherine was like, yo, say one more thing. Of course, you have these lines where you say one more thing, and the girl was like, whatever, bitch. She turned around to her friends. When she turned back around, the desk. Phew. Yeah.
She could have killed her.
Yeah, she could have killed it. But then, you know, when I was
See,
talking...
that's the thing. When you're a kid, you don't think those things
When
through.
I was talking to her, I said, Catherine, what the hell? She said, but she's like, she basically said, how is it my fault? I told her, she said, one more...
How's it my fault?
She said, I told her. If I said what, she's like, come on. And she was like talking to me, and like, you know, my dad was there and all that. And I'm like, she legit was like, you know, because they arrested her.
Yeah.
They arrested her. They had her in the little cruiser, and then, you know, the guidance counselor had to go out there and talk to, because, you know, in New York, the cops are in the school.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, there's little Catherine in the cruiser. She's like, how is it my... I told her to shut the hell up. She wouldn't listen to me. And I told her, I said, if she did it one time, I said, I was very calm. And she's like, I told her very calmly, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Which I'm sure she was. But 9 times out of 10, when people say, do one more thing across this line, they're just bluffing.
People's pride can't do that
They're just bluffing. Usually they're just bluffing. But not Catherine. She's built like me and Zoe, you know. She's built like me and Zoe, you know, like real.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So she took the desk, and first of all, I was like.
The thing is, what I could picture, like, Zoe now, she would never crack a desk over somebody, you know what I mean? But if she was in that environment, you know what I mean? Like, I could see her.
She absolutely would.
She has that energy in her.
She absolutely, yeah.
She, you know,
yeah.
There's that time that Johan was really just getting on her nerves, so then she wanted to start, like, an actual wrestling match with him, so she could.
Right, and he didn't want no smoke with her at all.
No, he did. He went right in there.
Who? To Zoe?
Yeah, Johan did.
What'd she do to him?
Well, she won.
Oh, yeah.
He was crying. I said, what happened?
Some toxic masculinity.
She said he was making me mad. So.
Then she's left-handed.
Said, let's go in the ring.
She's left-handed. It's very hard to fight left-handed people.
Her cheeks were all red.
Yeah, but that Zoe, yeah, she's exactly like Catherine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she's not.
They're exactly the same.
She's not an aggressive sort of person, but at the same time, like, if she's put in a certain situation, she wouldn't take shit from anybody.
Yeah, this is my sister. That's what she looks like. If you're wondering. Yeah, but parenting. The moral of the story is parenting teenagers is no joke. It's a very difficult job. It's a very difficult job. There's no two ways about it.
I kind of feel like that's why, like, God made it so that way it takes like 9 months. So there has to be some separation. But then eventually they all kind of clump up in there.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, if Zoe was in New York, that city, going to high school in New York, it's very transformative.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that for her.
It'll change you. Especially a person like Zoe, and it's always the same personality template. It happened with me, happened with my sister, would have happened with Zoe. Like, because I
don't see any situation in which Sailor would do something like that.
It would never happen. It would never happen. But but that's why you choose environments for your kids and things like that. You know what environments are going to affect them and which ones aren't.
Right.
You know, so if Zoe said she wanted to go to school in New York City, I'd say hell no.
Never
sing
gonna
this song. You're not letting me be myself.
Yeah.
Sadak, that is correct. That is correct, because you'll be in jail for attempted murder.
Yeah, jeez.
They're throwing all that stuff around, and my dad, he was freaking out. He's like, yeah, let me call Vin. Yeah, he was scared to death. He know how to deal with her.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? So, what do you give the song?
9.
It's an 8 for me. It's kind of. I think the song was. I think the song was good. It just, I had a lot of really high expectation because there are so many people asking for this band. So. Maybe they have a signature song that I'm not familiar with. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Vin out.
Sori out.
Wait, what did you give it?
I gave it a 9, but it's a kind of a sloppy 9 for me because we've talked so long now that I'm kind of forgetting. I just remember it sounded like something else, so I don't know what I can honestly rate it. Probably an 8. What did you give it?
I gave it an 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with an 8.
All right. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
In my head.